and welcome back to another episode of Hungry Talks. It's just me today. I haven't seen Jake in a while. I wonder where he is.
Hey, how you going?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks. I'm just looking for RMIT Studios. Do you know where they are?
I think it's that way.
Oh, no, thank you. Thank you.
Feels a bit weird not having him here. I feel a little bit awkward. So instead of our usual food for thought, maybe I'll tell you a bit about myself. Hi, my name is Ziwei, but you can call me Z. I'm an international student from Malaysia, currently studying advertising here at RMIT. I actually just came back from a short exchange from Aarhus, Denmark about a month and a half ago. And it was honestly one of the best experiences I've ever had. I met so many people from different parts of the world, even from countries I never heard of before. It was surreal. We talked, exchanged names, thoughts, stories, and experiences, and really connected. And what struck me the most, and that I still think about to this day, is how despite all our differences, different cultures, backgrounds, perspectives, we still found a way to connect and understand each other. Isn't that crazy? We're all so beautifully unique in our own ways, but at our core, we're the same. We laugh, we cry, we hope, we feel, we love. And that's what we're going to be talking about today, how different cultures can come together to create something extraordinary. And we have two incredible guests joining us today. Christie Ding, a business advisor for Asian market expansion and co-founder of Brand Catalyser, a leading go-to-market consulting and marketing agency. And we also have Swapnesh Dubey, a powerhouse in media and theatre. Swapnesh has produced a gender-fluid Shakespeare play in India, was one of the youngest news anchors in Hindi media, and now runs two companies focused on cross-cultural content between India and Australia. Together, we're going to dive into how creativity and inclusivity can unite us across cultures. So without further ado, let's get started. This week's Quick Brief is brought to you by Choices Flooring. So if you didn't know, Choices Flooring is one of Australia's leading flooring retailers, here to help homeowners who are renovating or building find the perfect flooring to match their style and needs. Home is important. It's where we feel safe, where we recharge, manage our well-being, and simply live. There's nothing like coming back to a cozy, beautifully designed home after a long day, right? And if you think about it, flooring is literally the foundation of that feeling. It's one of those things that truly makes a house feel like home. So, your challenge is to create a TV or video campaign that communicates the idea that making the right choices can be tough. But with Choices Flooring, creating a beautiful, cozy home is actually pretty easy. Your deliverable, a script or storyboard for a 15 to 30-second TV ad. It can be funny, emotional, factual, whatever makes it memorable. So not only does this give you a chance to be crowned 2024 Scamp Champ, but you can also win 2 gold-class movie tickets. So think big, get creative, and have fun with it. For all the details, head over to our socials, and don't forget to submit your Quick Brief entry to us at quickbriefs@hungrytalks.com.au. Good luck! So, joining us on the desk today is Swapnesh Dubey, a visionary storyteller and media professional whose work bridges cultures and challenges conventions. But before we dive into our discussion, let's start things off with a bit of fun.
Oh, okay.
So, welcome Swapnesh.
Thank
You were
you.
one of the youngest news anchors in Hindi media.
Right.
So today we thought we'd put your skills to the test with a teleprompter game.
Right.
Okay, yeah. For everyone watching, you might have noticed how I'm always looking right into the camera while talking. That's because I'm reading from a teleprompter. Yep. So here's how the game works. Swapnesh and I will take turns reading from the teleprompter, but with a twist. Will, our auto cue operator, will change up the pacing, and Logan, our director, will keep us on our toes by switching cameras. So not only do we have to keep up with the changing speed, but we also have to stay aware of which camera is live at any given moment. We'll each go for a minute, and the challenge is to see who can stay the most composed and professional.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And quick disclaimer, usually I know what I'll be saying because I write my own scripts, but for today's entree, our producer Johanna and guest presenter James have written the script, so I have no clue what's coming next. So it's a fair game.
Right.
Okay, so you were a news anchor, right? You said?
Yep.
So this might be a cup of tea for you, but don't underestimate me. I'm the host of How He Talks To, okay?
Absolutely.
So, are you ready?
And also, this is English language, so.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. So, should I go first?
Yes.
Okay. Do I start now?
Yep.
Okay. This. Okay. This one is for the boys with the booming system. Top-down AC with the cooler system. When he come in the club, he be blazing up. Got stacks on deck like he's saving up. And he ill, he real, he might got a deal. He pop bottles then he got the right kind of bill. He cold, he dope, he might sell coke. He was in the air, but he never fly coach. He a mother trip, ship. When you make a drip, kissing on the lip. That's the kind of dude I was looking for. And yes, you get slack if you're looking. I said, excuse me, you're a hell of a guy. I mean, my. You're like pelican fly. I mean, you're so shy and I'm loving your time. You're like slicker than a guy with the thing on his eye. Yes, I did. Somebody please tell him who the F I is. I am Nicki Minaj. I make the dudes up, back coots up and chuck the dudes up.
Tonight's night, let's live it up. I got my money, let's spend it up. I feel go out and smash it like, oh my God, jump out that sofa. I feel stressed out. I want to let it go. Let's go way out, spaced out and losing all control. Fill up my cup, Maisel tub. Look at her dancing, just take it. Let's paint the town. We'll shut it down. Let's burn the food. Then we'll do it again. Let's do it. And do it. Let's live up and do it. That's tonight's going to be a good night.
Yes, tonight's going to be a good night. Okay. So that was fun. Okay.
Lovely.
Yeah. Now let's take a look at some clips of Swapnesh playing Helenus in his gender-fluid adaptation of Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream at the Mumbai Royal Opera House.
Dead? Or asleep? Oh, that my prayers could such a fiction move. So offend a virgin. Oh, and in this you should pity rather than despise. Stay! Wow! Oh, shut up! No. I'm as ugly as a bear. And the feel you do me mischief. She is one of this confederacy. And now so you will let me quite go home. The more you beat me, I'll fawn on you. Spurn me, strike me, neglect me. My legs are longer. Don't you run away!
So Swapnesh, can you start by telling us a bit about your journey? How did you find yourself moving from news anchoring to produce a gender-fluid Shakespeare play in India?
Well, I was always very comfortable on camera, so I took a cue from that to create my career in media and to be a news anchor. I was one of the youngest news anchor in Hindi media. When I went to the news channel, I said, okay, can you take my audition? I want to be a news anchor. And everyone just looked at me as like, okay, are you serious? Like, you're just 20 and you want to be a news anchor. So yeah, they said, okay, you can do internship, the word I don't like, but internship for 1 month. And I did 1 month. Right after 1 month, I went back and I said, can you take my audition? I'm really ready for the anchoring. And they just took my audition, and from there I started. Early in the morning, first time, and then primetime show in 3 to 4 months' time, I became primetime news anchor for them. I used to do debates and everything. But then 2014 came and the government of India, like the power structure changed and somehow journalism came under threat. And I resigned and I decided to move to the industry where I can take control of what I create, the kind of content, the kind of storytelling. Especially with queer issues, the conservative government started pressing to not discuss those issues on mainstream media, and that's where I thought, okay, I'm going to resign. And yeah, from news anchoring to creating my own production company, acting, taking training as an actor, that's all part of it because I felt that I need to do something to create the stories that I truly believe. Yeah,
Well, confidence really is important, isn't it?
absolutely.
Yeah. So, were there any particular challenges or surprises during the creative process when you were producing the Shakespeare play?
With Shakespeare, first challenge is understanding Shakespeare anywhere in the world, but especially in India because the kind of language there is. And then to make it a gender fluid version, changing characters and not changing a word from the script makes it much more interesting, but also difficult for people to understand what's happening. But somehow the response was really great.
How was the audience reaction to the gender fluid adaptation?
Well, they really liked it. They didn't think that you can create something like that from Shakespeare. Most of the people were not expecting that. And I think that was the unique selling point of the play. That's why a lot of people came to watch, because they wanted to see how did we do it, and without changing a word. So that was a challenge, to not change a word and still make it a gender fluid version. But I think Shakespeare was writing for queer people long back. So I think we are just now realizing how Shakespeare was writing was for everyone, not for just for one kind of people. Yeah.
So I guess when people watch it, they'll be like, oh, it's actually,
Yeah.
it doesn't change much.
No, it doesn't. And it shows the struggle of queer person in India at the moment, what is happening with marriage equality debate and how we are going through all that struggle at the moment. It actually captured in the words of Shakespeare itself. So, yeah.
So speaking of that, what role do you think the media plays in promoting inclusivity, especially for communities that are often underrepresented?
Well, I think there is a huge responsibility on media, but I'm not sure if they are playing the role that they should be playing. And I would talk from the point of view of Indian media that never talks about any underrepresented communities, class or system or anything. So every time, the only time I heard that there is a discussion about LGBT rights on Indian mainstream media is when the Supreme Court of India is talking about it, or if there is some discussion going on in the court. Other than that, there is nothing, no conversation, nothing is going on. And when the government in power stands against equal rights, I think that's where media needs to stand up and say that this is enough. You can't do that.
What do you hope to see more in the future for the LGBTQ plus community?
Well, I want to see more people coming out in India and saying that, okay, we exist to start with, but also media needs to create that kind of environment for more people to come and share their stories, so that next time when there's in the Supreme Court there's a discussion, nobody says that, oh, this law is not affecting anyone. Literally, someone said that in the Supreme Court that, oh, there is a law that makes people illegal, but that's not affecting anyone. There were queer people in the court, but they were not out. So they could get away with saying they don't exist. So let's not talk about it. So I think that's what I want, more people coming out, more people saying that we exist.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
So you're currently running 2 companies that focus on producing Indian and Australian content.
Yeah.
So what have you found to be the biggest challenge in balancing these diverse perspectives?
I think I would take that not as a challenge, but also as something to learn from, because there is a different culture altogether. In India itself, we have 24, if I'm not wrong, 24 official languages. That tells you that how diverse that's not a country. I call it a continent. Somehow, sits together and calls it a country. But to take those stories and then work with Australian cultural background, where there are so many. I mean, what is Australia? Like, how would you define Australia? That's how the question is, how would you define India? So I think that's the challenge, but also that is something to learn from, that you can create stories that actually resonate with both audiences, because eventually I think the stories have that power.
And how do you find stories that resonate across diverse?
Well, I think just by observing and working with writers who have experience in working in a cross-cultural communities, and they have backgrounds. Like, for example, if I want to create a love story, Indian-Australian love story between queer couples, so that I need to find out writers who can understand what it means, what are the experiences, because you cannot create content or any film or anything without having writers who understand these cultural differences and similarities at the same time. Yep.
So, what are you up to right now? Do you have any exciting projects coming up, or what stories are you hoping to bring to life next?
Yeah, so I'm working on the documentary called Queering India, and it's going to release next year in film festivals around the world, and I'm already in talks with different festivals in Melbourne. So Queering India talks about how India is changing in LGBTQ rights and how marriage equality debate is going on at this moment. Yeah. So I'm pretty excited about Queering India for sure.
So speaking of that, do you think the portrayal of LGBTQ plus communities in Indian media has evolved over the past decade?
Yes, it has, but 0.1%, yes, because there was none, and now there is some.
Yeah.
So I would say, yes, there is a portrayal. They are trying their best to, include different kind of writers and come up with cross-cultural, communities to work with, and that is helping them to create content for everyone. And it's not just to make fun of them. It's more like, okay, they are part of the story. They are creating content for LGBTQ people, which is good. But I think that is just a very small step, and I hope it continues.
Yeah, I hope so
much more.
too.
Yeah.
So to end it off, do you have any advice you would give to young creatives who want to challenge norms and push boundaries to their storytelling?
Well, I think just start, how can I give any advice to anyone? I mean, I'm right there doing it, but well, if I have to say, it's more like just start creating something. Wrong, right, anything. Just create your own content, because if you create your own content, that creates your brand, and then nobody can say that, okay, what is your brand? I mean, why do I even hire you? Why do I even pay you? All those questions just go out of hand when you create your own content and you actually believe in what you're creating. So I think that's what I would like to say, yeah.
Yeah, I like that you create something that you actually believe in.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
It's been lovely.
Yeah, thanks
Okay,
a lot.
So before we dive into a conversation with Christie Ding, an expert in Asian market expansion and cross-border business strategies, let's check out Adspiration, where one of our team members shares the ad that got them into advertising.
Hi guys, I'm Johanna, I'm the head producer of Hungry Talks, and this is the ad campaign that inspired me to do advertising, and it actually also taught me that advertising could be more than just a poster, so give it a look.
Welcome, Christie. So it's a pleasure to have you here. You're the co-founder of Brand Catalyser, and you've received multiple awards, including the BNT 30 Under 30 Entrepreneurs of the Year and the Small Biz Young Hero Award. Can you start by telling us a bit about yourself and what Brand Catalyser is all about?
Thank you, Zee. First of all, thanks for having me here. So Brand Catalyser is the company that work with FMCG brands. So it's like a fast consuming goods business. We're helping them to go into the new markets, entering, providing the strategy and the consultancies, then guiding them through to explore those new markets and then activating all those marketing support that they need. So basically, yeah, a new market entry strategy team.
So as a business advisor and co-founder, how do you balance the challenge of expanding into diverse markets while maintaining creative integrity?
I think balancing the market expansion and the creative integrity is very challenging for most of the business that we work with. But this is why Brand Catalyser was doing and why we have a stake in the market. I think for those two doesn't conflict with each other. A good creative integrity or creative ideas for brands that are always able to adapt into the local culture or local markets. So when we work with a brand that who have the centralized the brand value or everything, which is the soul of the brand, that needs to be able to expand it and also adapt into different messages that we can resonate with the consumers. So I think it's more about like a crafting the stories and finding out the value of the brand and also matching up the needs of the market and consumers.
So speaking of crafting stories that resonate, when creating marketing strategies that you want to resonate, what are some of the biggest challenges you face, and how did you overcome them?
I think one of the biggest challenges are the cultural misinterpretations, which are very easily to be happened among everyone because we're not expert in all the markets that we're doing, same as the brands that we work with. So we are easy to take the assumptions based on what we know and what we grow up and just applying to the new markets, and sometimes that, or most of the times, it doesn't work. So for Brand Catalyser, we never take the one-fits-all approach to the market because just examples that we've worked with a brand that every Lunar New Year, they always think everything needs to be red or golden, but not necessarily to be the case anymore because the market has evolved and the dynamic has changed. People's visual preference or the look and feel, everything has changed. So it's very easy for people to assume that that's always the way to go to, like going to the red or gold during the Lunar New Year. But yeah, those are the things can easily be avoided by knowing the market changes, knowing what's the latest things that happen in the market. Just do the homework, I would say, to talk to the people, to do enough research, and leveraging the local team like Brand Catalyser. We have the local team members and the partners that we are providing the latest market insights and the trend that we can incorporate with our overall market approach.
So do you have like a favorite cross-cultural campaign that you like? Do you mind sharing it?
Like the one that we are doing at Brand Catalyser. I think one of the examples that I thought about was like the skincare brand that we have worked with for a long time that it's end up with when we're going to the new market, we have to reselecting their product profiles, like the SKU, the product list, whatever they are selling in Australia, probably not the best product, the hero product to promote in the Malaysia market, in China market, just because the needs is not there. So we have to reselect the product still under the same brand umbrella, but we featuring new range of the product that needs, has the needs in the market that people are looking for it. Another thing, like specifically is in the skincare product in Australia, we're probably featuring as to give you the glowy skin, but in Asia country like Japan especially, people are looking for white whitening is the term that we're using instead of the glowing. So this is just examples that how those content and also texture has been can be adapted based on the same value of the brand or the USPs that we are marketing to the market.
And how do you find those cultural nuances? Because you mentioned in Australian they think they look for glowing products, right?
Yeah.
And then in Malaysia maybe they look for whitening products.
Yeah.
How do you find those cultural nuances? Like how do you know?
Well, I'm not an expert for all the markets, but I think just leveraging the team who are in the market, doing those market research all the daily basis that who can bring you in the insight of what the local market is like, and then talk to the consumers, because we have the approach of how to solve the problem, but we don't know what's the problem there. So it is more coming down to the consumer intent. Why are they purchasing this product? By just maybe hosting a focus group or doing a survey to really talk to the people who are essentially going to purchase your product. So I think it's really simple as just do the homework and the research and work on the local team to get them to give the advice and the insight of how what's the best approach is.
Yeah, I see. So you've worked extensively across the Asia Pacific markets, right?
Yeah.
Is there any insights that you have gained about creating campaigns that really resonate across different cultures? Are there any key insights or points that works every time?
Probably there's no things that are always working, but I think the key essential is to finding the match and the balance, like what we mentioned previously. For a brand to grow long term, they need to have a very strong offering in the market. Like what's the problem they are solving here and what can they offer? And based on the core of the brand or the value, and you have to finding the right demand or just matching the demand from each of the market, but also taking consideration of the culture, because each market are different, not only the language, but also the way of working, the things that we approach are very different, which are tied back to the country's history, language, politics, everything is very complex as it is. But it's still like, how are you going to deliver these messages to the local market where they understand and they will resonate with, oh, actually, yes, it's talked to my pain point. I think it's just really about going through the process of understanding the market and look through those partners, vendors that who can give you the support to entering those market and to adapt what you're offering in Australia into the local market.
I see. So for startups looking to break into international markets, especially in Asia, what advice would you give them?
Probably the first step is go for travel. Go visit the country.
To understand like the local culture?
Yeah, because you have to experience the whole environment, talk to the local people, have a conversation, find out what they are carrying at the moment, what they're talking about. I think that's just very basic step to take the first step. Because Asia country, when we talk about this, it's like multiple, like maybe up to 12 countries in total. And some of the countries like Malaysia, which are very culturally diverse there, not only the language, but also the religious, everything. So all of those combined together will make you feel like this is the whole new world that you're coming to. So never take the assumption of what you think they are, but give the opportunity for them to give you the answer of who they are.
I love to have a job like that, just to, So many of us are actually graduating soon. Do you have any advice for us graduates, soon-to-be graduates, to trying to navigate the job market?
I do feel that's a really hard at the moment. I feel like given the COVID 2 years thing, there's so many backlogs of the students who are looking for the job. But I mean, like what I believe is the opportunity is always there for the people who are prepared. So I think just to understand what's your skill set are and what you're looking for long term, whether it's a life or professionally, because that's just the first step to understand yourself as a product. And then you have to fit this product into the right market where you can grow and maximize your opportunity and the skill sets. A lot of the students are driven by the job opportunity from the market, but never ask themselves if this is the right opportunity for me. But if once you take a step back to understand what your portfolio is, and then it will be much clearer and easier for you to find the right choice. I believe there's still a lot of the opportunity in the market where companies like are hiring constantly. They are looking for new ideas, new talent there from the industry. So there's always opportunity. But another advice is to keep up with the latest technology, which is the advantage of young people now has. It's just like natural to you guys that you can adapt into latest AI tools, everything. So that's just the advantage that you can bring into the table to say, maybe I can do 3 people's job within the tools that I'm master with.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your insights with us.
Pleasure.
Before we move into this week's Chef Special with Christie, let's take a quick break for Palette Cleanser, where James will showcase some of the creative scams we received for our quick brief so far.
Bum, 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 bum. We just got a letter. We just got a letter. We just got a letter. Wonder who it's from. It's from Jake!
Hey guys, it's me, Jake. I made it all the way from that beach and I've come to show off some of the work that we've been receiving at the Hungry Talks email. This week we received lots of great submissions and they just keep rolling in. Here's just a couple for you. Brilliant stuff. Why not send in your own submissions to have a shot at Scamp Champ title? Now, on to the chef's special.
Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of cross-cultural advertising by looking at 2 ads from the same brand, Swiss, but created for different markets, Australia and China. And let's take a moment to watch them both.
Nature has a way of getting the best out of me. It's been an inspiration for Swiss too. Since the 1960s, they've been combining a bounty of rich ingredients to help create formulas like Swiss Aldi Weiz. Because there's nothing quite like that feeling you get through making the most of life. Swiss, the quest continues.
想要拥有理想型身材，那追求拜拜肉，说拜拜，再把肌肉支棱起来，每一根线条里都是超大写的自律。每天一勺乳清蛋白，和我一起补充优质蛋白。思维师乳清蛋白粉，我们的新时尚。
So we just watched 2 Swiss ads created specifically for the Australian and Chinese markets. What are your thoughts on the different strategies Swiss use in these ads? Do you think they're effective for the respective audiences?
I think definitely, like from the 2 ads, that the celebrities that they've chosen definitely resonate with the local market, which is the hottest actor and actress in each of the market. And then I think from the overall, the look and feel of the commercials, that you would see the culture of the country, like in Australia, people are more drawn into the natural, the whole landscape kind of feeling. And what they're portraying is that lifestyle that you can climb in a mountain all the time and you can just embrace into the whole natural environment, but in the opposite side, that like from the music background of the commercial in China, it's always like a fast pacing and very energetic, and also of course that they're talking to different audience in terms of the gender, but the age group are the same, but the lifestyle are totally different. So I think the commercials definitely works well for each of the market, that they talk to their audience in the way that they would understand and more close to the daily life that they're experiencing. Because if we bring in Australian ads into China, people will think this is far away from me. We don't even have time to climb a mountain on a weekend or something. So yeah, people need like a fast moving things happen.
It's interesting to see like the Australian ad is made way more laid back, like well-being and the
low pace.
Yeah, and that one is more like wellness and discipline kind of thing. So speaking of, because they both use, you said they both use like the hottest celebrities, right?
Yeah.
Do you think celebrity endorsement is still like a good way to attract to the market?
That's a great question. This is the question that the brand asks us all the time. It's yes and no. It really depends on the product and also the timing of the campaign. And some of the product would never suitable for a celebrity. For example, like in my opinion, like ESOP would never suitable for that type of the promotion through a celebrity. It's more coming from the bottom up rather than from the top down. So those are two different approach of the brand that needs to coming back to the brand's personality and the value, the mission, what they're trying to deliver the message. But for celebrities, definitely works in a way that they have big influential power. And especially for Asian countries, that the fan groups are very powerful. You would never be able to compete with the influential power of a fan of a celebrity, especially those K-pop or young singer group now. So yeah, it really depends on the timing as well, and also which brand.
So and we can see like the two ads are very distinct narratives and visuals, like they're very different. As we said, one is more laid back, one is more fast paced. How do brands strike a balance between maintaining a consistent image while also localizing content appeal to like the specific markets?
I think for the brand, there's always a DNA that we're following from the agency side, whether it's a creative or the content perspective. There's always a things that needs to build as a foundation. For example, the logo, the color, the product shape, that's the iconic element of the brand DNA. And also the overall brand is trying to deliver the message of wellness. It is how you interpret the wellness meaning by different local market. The wellness in Australia probably more towards the natural, the laid-back lifestyle. That's the wellness that we define in Australia, given the context of the culture here and the environment that we're living here. It's more easy to access to those like park, hiking, etc. But the wellness in China, for example, that ads has representing is the energetic. You have enough. You can have enough sleep, and then you can work out. You have a strong muscles. Those are the wellness that it means to the local market. So it depends on how you interpreting the same value and the messages of the brand, which are the DNA that consistently trying to deliver.
So basically, we just have to really understand what the brand stands for and the core message of the brand. Okay. So what do you think are the key factors brands need to consider when adapting strategies for different cultural markets? I feel like we kind of answered that question to really understand like the concept. Okay.
Yeah.
So one thing I'm curious of, how do you measure the success of cross-cultural campaigns? Like, is there any metrics or measurements that you look at?
I think it's pretty much the same. Doesn't really matter which market. Like from campaign perspective, that we look at the numbers. If the objective is brand awareness, then we see how much the brand recall has been increased. How many people recognize this brand now? So this can be done through like a brand study. And if the objective is sales, then that's a really straightforward. How many sales of the product that you made from this campaign? So yeah, I guess the metrics are the same across all the markets, channels. It really depends on the objective.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. It was really fun to hear you talk about the insights, and thank you for sharing your expertise with us.
Thank you, Z.
Thank you. And that's a wrap for today's Hungry Talks. I hope you all enjoyed it as much as I did, from cross-border creative collaborations to crafting culturally resonant marketing campaigns. There was so much to learn. Jake, you definitely missed out. And hey, I survived without Jake by my side. And thank you for everyone. Thank you to everyone joining in the studio and everyone watching from home. I hope to see Jake and all of you next week. Until then, stay curious.